London City was like, it's the first just women's team. So there's no men's team associated with it. It's literally just the women's team. New CEO, new staffing, everything is just, completely individual and separate.
Moving forward, with me on this channel, I don't really like to talk about current affairs, so I don't really like to talk about your current situation, because then it starts to get all complicated, etc. But let's talk about the loan club you're at now. How's that experience been? It's been your first time on loan?
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously it's a new environment and everything like that. Yeah, how was that? And educate me, the people who don't know so much about franchises in the women's game, where they're their own franchises, their own teams, and that's the women's teams, if that makes sense. Instead of like, let's say for example, you have a men's and a women's Arsenal, a men's and a women's Chelsea, for example.
So yeah, obviously I joined London City Lionesses this year on loan. Not wholeheartedly like my decision. So that in itself was hard, but London City was like, it's the first just women's team. So there's no men's team associated with it. It's literally just the women's team. New CEO, new staffing, everything is just, completely individual and separate.
Here at 3258, we're proud to present you with the best football-specific content. We work with many companies and many ballers to give you, the viewers, the best content possible. You, the viewer, we're always looking to help you improve your skill set. In order for you to improve your skill set and for us to keep making these videos, please click the link down below and buy some equipment. The equipment helps us run this channel, and also you subscribing to the channel helps us producing more of these videos to help you with your skill set and your knowledge of the game. Thank you for supporting 3258.
So that in itself was quite exciting.
Yeah.
The general manager and the CEO was able to build the club how they wanted it. So like I said, that was quite exciting, to be a part of. It didn't necessarily go like very well when you open something new, whether it be a business, company, club, sports team. In the first, few months, years, whatever you want to put it, it's always a learning curve.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things that, of course, wasn't perfect. A lot of things that could, of course, be improved, but it is what it is. I think regardless of whether the season would have continued or not, we finished fourth. We would have finished fourth. I don't think it was possible for us to, be passed or drop down. So when you look back on the season, even though it was incomplete, fourth place for a brand new team, brand new franchise, it's a good job done. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of the players that we had in that environment, a lot of players had played in the WSL1, so the top league, and the rest of the players had played in, the championship, the second league. So we had like a very good competitive group of players. And I think a lot of us would say that we were quite disappointed with how our season went in terms of, the points we gathered, the points we dropped here and there. Because at the end of the day, we're all like professional athletes and we always want to do our best. Like for some people, fourth place might be enough, but for me and a lot of the girls, it wasn't. We was quite disappointed with that. Lost or like drew a lot of like the bigger games, the big head-to-heads, and that's like where we let ourselves down. But for me personally, in terms of the league itself, it wasn't like always very challenging for me.
Yeah.
in games. And that can be quite hard in itself because, you know, you want to be challenged, and if you're not being, it can be quite easy to fall into like bad habits and stuff. So for me this year, it didn't necessarily challenge me on the pitch, but it did allow me to play consistent football, getting 90 minutes every week. And I'm sure you can appreciate that playing is what gets you, you know, the furthest. You can train as much as you can, but that game realism is what's important. So that helped me a lot this season. But I would say I improved the most off the pitch.
Yeah.
Being in that environment, I was like one of the few players who had like WSL1 experience. So I kind of had to share that with the group and kind of step up and be a leader. Whereas I haven't really had to do that, you know, before. So I feel like I definitely improved in that area of the game. And when you look in the grand scheme of things, like all of these little things coming together does make a player, does improve a player. So it wasn't a write-off, I would say.
That's good. For you personally, you've been, you've had the season, and now it's made you maybe come out the shell you have. Maybe it's gonna, you know, do a whole world of good for you to take into your next season and so forth. So, what's your future aspirations, and what do you want to achieve for next season?
I would say that I'd want to play more competitive football next season. Ultimately, like since I suffered a long-term injury, one of my biggest goals is to just always stay healthy, stay fit, improve my fitness in other areas, you know. And obviously, like as you get older, you do see the grand scheme of things. Do you know what I mean? Like I just want to be playing consistently wherever that may be, and be playing well, and, you know, just making those small building blocks. I'm going to be 24 this year, next month. So I should be like coming into like my peak ability over the next couple of years. So I want to keep building towards that.
For more content like this, like, share and subscribe.